Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
Vegetable.
That's right. I'm talking Mr. Banks.
Correct.
Yes.
Yes.
Bam! Patriotic Spider-Man t-shirt. You like?
Yeah, it's great. I have a black and white Beatles shirt.
Also good. Good.
I try.
Yeah, I have a cousin in the army, so I saw this at Kohl's, and I was like, oh, that's like a patriotic shirt that I can wear in front of that family. That's also a shirt that I like. Well done. Well done. Exactly. All right, AdvBlueDude, give us a little promo for WDW Magic, because that's who we're doing the show for this fine evening.
For those of you who don't know, we were once on SYWTBAI.com, and for almost a year we've been on WDW Magic, which is your new home for all your armchair Imagineering needs. Go to... I won't load. There you go. Go to forums.wdwmagic.com/forums/imagineer.15/.
There we go.
For all your armchair Imagineering needs, we got Imagineering, we got Disney, we got other things too. Mostly those two things.
Don't forget about Universal. We have a lot of Universal.
Yeah, we got a few Universal. Yeah, come on, talk, don't talk, do whatever. We don't mind. www.magic.com. Bat mitzvahs, bar mitzvahs, braces, weddings, funerals, divorces. We are there for all. So please, why you stop on by?
Why not? Why not? Like the Pokemon. Why not?
Yes.
Just like the Pokemon. How the hell are you?
Uh-oh.
Frozen. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and turn my webcam off because you all saw my awesome Spider-Man shirt. So, and my webcam's kind of stolen. Okay.
There you go.
That will make things run smoother, I think.
Probably, yeah. To answer your question that was proposed to me earlier, I am doing well, and am surprised that this joke that I've been doing for a year and a half is still fresh in my mind. Probably nobody else's, but I still enjoy doing it, and that's all that matters in the end.
Indeed. Yes. Well said. All right, so we're going through. We have a kind of a backlog of creator games profiles that we like to do. We like to kind of give you guys a podcast for every project that the Creator Games does. The Creator Games is a competition held on WDW Magic by ID Institute in Space Mountain. And so we kind of just went through all the ones. We have like 5 or 6 of them that we have to do still.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So we decided that this would be kind of the easiest one to just crack out. It's kind of like a broad spectrum topic that we can just kind of riff on. So with that in mind, AdvBlueDude, I will leave it to you to guide the discussion.
Oh, great. So yes, tonight we'll be discussing the queues of Disney parks, from the simple switchback to the not switchback to the more complicated interactive queues of the 21st century. Sorry, I'm putting it down in the form. We will be discussing queues of all types, because it's really, I talked about it earlier when I did my show with Monkey, but especially in Walt Disney World, queues are in not a renaissance, because there was never really the birth of the great queue, but they're doing it.
Well, actually, I would argue the birthing of the great queue would be Roger Rabbit and Indiana Jones Adventure.
I suppose I was thinking that as I was saying that, so I suppose you're right. Disney World is in a queue renaissance. It really started with Soarin', and since then they've just...
Oh, real?
Kind of. The Soarin' queue sucks, but that's where the interactive stuff started.
Okay.
That was the first queue to really have an interactive feature.
The only thing I like about Soarin's queue and DCA, I mean, I like the music, and I kind of appreciate the history, but Of course, I love Patrick Warburton.
Yeah.
We've
I
already
really like.
discussed before the whole part where he, he's helping the kid put the seatbelt through the loop, and then he's like, "Nice work, pal."
Yeah. I like the DCAQ. The one in Epcot's boring. It just looks like a terminal.
Yeah.
Like an airport terminal, but it has interactive games, and that's why I mentioned it, because it's the first queue that really had that. But then after that, like, what else was there? There was
Haunted Mansion.
Yeah, there's Space Mountain, there's Haunted Mansion, there's Winnie the Pooh, and now there's Big Thunder.
Mhm.
So yeah, they've been doing really incredible things, and
I still don't really like the idea of these interactive games just because I worry about the potential for bottlenecks.
oh, they create a terrible bottleneck.
And I hate that. That would drive me absolutely nuts.
They bottleneck less than you would think, though,
Okay.
because actually Disney runs it rather well. Where
Do they have it where it's like, if you want to continue to play the game, I'm assuming that, or do they kind of run it like Six Flags Magic Mountain runs their queues, where it's like they'll let kind of like a large group of people into another section of the queue and then wait for that group of people to go through?
What I've been noticing, mainly in Space Mountain, is that if the queue is like a 10 or 15-minute wait, they will
10 or 15-minute wait for Space Mountain?
like early in the morning.
Okay.
Or really late at night. Or if it's just not peak. If it's like a really short wait like that, where the queue doesn't go
I am
back
like
that
not
far,
used to that because like
because why?
not does not exist.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
we
I mean-
have no periods of no peak. It's
Oh,
dead.
yeah.
Disneyland will always and forever be crowded as hell.
Yeah.
You
I mean, yeah.
hear that, monkey, you filthy AP holder?
Oh.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
Yeah, but if the queue doesn't go back far enough to get to reach the games, they'll put the games in demo mode, so you can't actually play them.
Okay,
So
I
it
hear
stops
you.
that bottleneck, so it's not bad at all. People just continue. Though I did go on Space Mountain once when I was down there last week or 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it was about 2 weeks ago. And the queue was posted a 15-minute wait, and it was a walk-on. And the only reason it was a 15-minute wait was because people kept stopping at the fucking games.
Wow.
I get like it says, oh, 15-minute wait. Okay, that's cool. Like I get in the queue.
Yeah, that's
And-
not bad at all.
Yeah, the crowd starts at the start of the star tunnel, which is usually about a 45-minute wait. I'm like, what the fuck's going on?
Right.
And I look up
right.
and there's two people playing a game and
Oh,
everyone
no.
impatiently
Oh,
waiting
no.
behind them. And I'm like, what the
That's
fuck?
terrible.
Are you that stupid? Are you, do you not understand that you are not the only person here?
That's
Why?
really
Why? Yeah.
You know what? I've seen worse things than that, though. I've seen at Six
so
Flags
have I.
Magic Mountain. I've seen like people straight up playing games on their iPhone and shit,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then just not moving.
I saw that in Disney World as well.
Like I was in a 2-hour line for X2 with my autistic little brother in the blazing hot sun,
Yeah.
and there was a group of people doing that and constantly holding up the line. I wanted to freaking scream.
I fucking hate it when people when I'm in a queue that doesn't have like interactive things. Like I'm on my phone. but
Right,
I
like
also-
this is Six Flags we're talking about for X2, so it's just
Yeah.
like a big corral of people everywhere.
yeah.
Switchbacks every which way the wind blows.
Yeah. But like I'm on my phone, but I'm also making sure that I'm moving up with the line and not being an asshole. But yeah, so Space Mountain's queue is kind of shit. Like it just has the interactive queue, like the games. It's a lot like the interactive stuff rather is terrible. It's just like the Soarin' stuff, but done differently. The rest of Space Mountain's queue, however, is where much of my love for Space Mountain comes from. I've argued this before that Space Mountain and Disney World is one of those attractions that could never be built today because Disney would never be willing to put money into it to build it the way that it was built back then.
Yeah.
Because it's just so goddamn charming. Like it has an unbelievably great theme, which is we've come so far, and this is in the first part of the queue, which is just one room, and it's really the only reason that room is there is to get you downstairs under the train track. But
sure, of
it's
course,
just
that's a standby of Disney Hughes.
yeah. It's but it's a really, really, really beautiful trumpet arrangement with sparse strings, and then you go in the Star Tunnel, it has the really iconic Star Tunnel music, which is absolutely incredible. And it's probably one of my favorite pieces of music. So that is really cool. And then they have actual windows looking out into space, which is I'm not exactly sure how they. I think what it is it's a curved window.
Yeah, sure.
So
sure.
yeah, so it looks a lot larger than it actually is, and like the effect doesn't quite work because it's old and just yeah. But
it's still charming. That
yeah,
sounds
exactly.
really charming.
Exactly. And then as you get more towards the load, the windows change a bit to something about planets in them. In one of the windows, there's an actual Space Mountain car like zipping by. So like
really?
yeah,
wow.
there's a Space Mountain miniature that zips by in the window, and it's unbelievably fucking charming. But
spoiler alert, in Tomorrowland, because I know you haven't seen it yet,
yeah.
we see Space Mountain, but we
Yes.
don't actually go inside of it.
Of course not.
It's like it's there, but we have no idea what it is. We have no idea what its function is.
It's just there, yeah.
It's just there. Yeah. It's very iconically Space Mountain. You can't mistake it. It is very much Space Mountain. just sitting there in the background.
Yeah, but it's one of my favorite queues because of that, because of the music and because of the Star Tunnel. And the star windows, it just creates an incredible image. And then right before you get to the big room that eventually has both loads, there's a bunch of switchbacks in there, but both loads are there. Before you get to it, off to the right, there's a window where you can see the Omega track. You can see each spaceship, coaster car, turn into a charging station to charge and then go into the like, you know, that that flashing blue tunnel that starts both, yeah. So it creates a really cool image, and then the rest of the queue is just switchbacks. Though the one thing I fucking despise is if you go on the Alpha side of the ride. The old version of Space Mountain never had this. It used to all be in that one room. But if you go on the Alpha side now, they bring you into this terrible unthemed hallway.
Oh no.
And I don't,
no. Oh, yeah. That's awful.
I fucking hate it. And what it makes sense why it's unthemed, because it used to be a chicken exit.
Okay, yeah. So Disneyland has one of those too.
Yeah, essentially.
Right, like right at the same space, I'm thinking. Sort
of. So I'm not sure because the loads are set up differently. So like you go through the Star Tunnel, and then there's on both sides, it's kind of like an oval shape with a load on each side. If you keep going straight back and to either side, that's where the chicken exits were. It was just like hallways in the back that you could go through if you didn't want to ride the ride. But now they have the Alpha side queue running through that, and I fucking despise it. It pisses me off every time I get stuck in there because it takes you out of the mood. It takes you right out of it. And it's just deplorable, and I hate it. But yeah, that was my ramble about Space Mountain, and I didn't even mean to have that ramble, but it happened.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, I know. Probably one of the best queues. Not anymore, but it used to be the best queue before they decided to redesign it because, you know, Fast Pass Plus is the way of the future. It's the Pirates of the Caribbean queue. Because it had a story to it. It had a story that was never explicitly stated.
Right.
You just got it by noticing the themes. And it was really interesting because it's actually one of the few things that the Florida Pirates does better than the Disneyland Pirates.
I was about to say, yeah.
Yeah, your queue is just
the Disneyland one is just kind of like, oh, there's this kind of like weird building that's halfway between New Orleans Square and Adventureland. We're gonna go inside. Oh,
yeah,
like portraits. Oh, okay, we're at a dock.
Yeah, it's really weird. There's just a hallway of portraits and then a dock.
Yeah,
but
some windows.
Yeah, but the Pirates queue you would go into a castle. I believe it's the Castillo del Sol. I think, if I remember correctly, it might be the Castillo de Moro. So you go into it, and now they have the Pirates of the Caribbean Overture playing as the background music in the queue. But before that, in the early days of Walt Disney World, you could hear the sounds of a battle.
Oh, that's
So
neat.
you could hear soldiers way off in the distance, like
So
firing
basically,
cannons,
is it
shooting.
implied that this is the same fort as the
I'm getting to that.
is in the ride?
I'm getting to that. I'm sorry.
Excuse me.
So you go through all that. You go through you go through the fortress, and then like you pass by jail cells with pirate skeletons in them and stuff, and then the fortress opens into a cave system, which is where Lode is. And way off in the distance, there's a small little inlet in the cave. It's more like a cove, rather, that looks out onto a bay, and there's a pirate ship way off in the distance. So,
Oh, that's neat.
yeah. So you go on your bateau, and it just kind of goes forward. It just leaves Lode. It dispatches, and you go through like Dead Man's Grotto and all that, the shortened one, and then you go down the drop, and you come out of and. What's implied is that Dead Man's Grotto is an escape tunnel from between the fortress and the bay. So essentially, when you're going through the queue, you're escaping this fortress that is being attacked by the pirates in the ship battle scene.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a really interesting story in that respect, and that's what makes it cool and one of the better queues. But that story is now lost. Sort of. It's still there visually, but it's not quite the same. But it's just I just find it to be really interesting just because of how they put that much thought into a queue.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, the best queues are kind of like the ones that tell a story all their own.
Exactly. Yeah.
Indiana Jones, of course, being like, I still think Indiana Jones is a really good, although Fast Pass really did mess up the flow of that.
Yeah.
Because it used to be like you're waiting in a 2-hour-long line, but you're going through this long temple through the whole thing.
Yeah.
So it's just like an adventure in its own right. And now it's just like you're waiting in an endless amount of switchbacks, and then you just like run through all the stuff that you should be appreciating.
Yeah.
It's kind of a shame, really.
No, yeah. When I went through it was really cool.
Oh, it is really cool.
Yeah.
It's still really cool. It's just you don't have any time to appreciate it.
Yeah. But there's that. The Haunted Mansion queue is cool. I like it more than others do. Though it is really cheesy and in a not Mark Davis way. So it doesn't quite work as well as it should. But for what it is, I like it. Except
how's the new Peter Pan queue?
That's actually really charming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it because it sets up the story to the ride. Because you start the queue for Peter Pan, and it just goes into a hallway inside, which wasn't there before. So you go into the hallway, and it just has a bunch of portraits explaining the story of Peter Pan. And then you turn a corner, and you're on the doorstep of the Darling's house.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it's really cool. And
so
then
it's like an outside set?
Yeah, it looks like it's outside, but it's very obvious.
Oh wow, that's really cool.
It's just painted walls. But
still, I appreciate the effect.
So do I, and it also has a wood cutout of Nana, which doesn't quite work, but it's there. So you go inside.
Like the mysterious Nana. Have I told you about the mysterious Nana that may or may not be in the Disneyland one?
I don't believe so.
Okay, so apparently, like, I read this on Hidden Mickeys, like, forever ago.
Yeah.
Like, at least 15 years ago. Well, probably about 15 years ago, 14, 15. God damn, I'm old. But, yeah, I read it, like, basically, like, somewhere in the ride. And apparently it changes from time to time, but somewhere in the ride, there's a little, like, toy figurine of Nana. And people said it was like right after you leave the nursery, and then other people said it was like right before you go over Captain Hook's ship. So that was kind of like two conflicting stories, and it was like very mysterious, and I never did see it. And literally every time I went on the ride, that was the thing that was primarily on my mind. It's like, I wouldn't see it this time. I don't know. Very weird. Very odd.
Yeah, but then you go into the Darling's house, and there's portraits of each of the family members. And then right after that, you're in the bedroom, which has cool effects, like Tinkerbell's going about the room,
Nice.
making a bunch of like toys move and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a nice shadow game where it's a lot like the Soren game where you'd stand in front of well, it's hidden, but it's a camera, and your silhouette projects on the wall like it's your shadow, and then you play with other shadow things on the wall, which is really cool. And it's so you then like there's not much else there. You leave the nursery, and then you get sprinkled with pixie dust, and then you go into load. So it's nice because it sets up the story rather nicely.
It does, yeah.
So yeah, it's nice of what it tried to be. Yeah.
An underappreciated cue at Disneyland that I always kind of defend is Snow White's Scary Adventures, which you guys don't have.
We used to have it.
And we also have Mr. Toad.
You son of a bitch.
In case you didn't know, I'm just rubbing in. In case you didn't know, in case you forgot, we also have Mr. Toad.
When I went to Disneyland 10 years ago, and that is a long goddamn time ago.
It's getting close. Like my last trip was 2009. So in 4 years, it'll be 10 years since I've gone. And honestly, I really want to go to Cedar Point way before I want to go to Disneyland again because I've never been to Cedar Point. So that's kind of the next big family trip I'm planning. So it's going to be at least 4 years before Disneyland, I think.
Yeah.
Just given the prices and the economy and everything.
Oh, yeah.
And not to mention just, the AP situation that makes me not want to go there.
Yeah.
But that's a whole different story.
Yeah, but when I
monkey.
When I went there 10 years ago, that was like the one ride that I had to go on. Then Indiana Jones.
Oh yeah, Mr. Toad.
Yeah, because I grew up on I sort of grew up on Mr. Toad. So like I said,
we kind of have the bastardized one a little bit.
No.
Well, you guys had the dueling tracks though.
Ours was more robust, but it's basically the same thing. But I do like how the two it not only had dual tracks, but it also met up, which was really
exactly,
cool.
And that's just an element that you just don't have at the Disneyland one at all.
Yeah, yeah,
but ours still goes through hell at the very end.
Ours used to. Now we just have Winnie the Pooh.
Yes.
Now it's a gift shop, actually.
And Scary Adventures is what, a meet and greet?
That's fucking stupid.
I heard you talking about that with Monkey, and you were like, "Oh, I did not go in there."
No, I didn't. I almost did because I've heard that. I was told that when you go inside, it's really weird because you can tell exactly where everything used to be.
Oh yeah, that's right. You were talking about that. Yeah.
So I was really intrigued, but I just did end up going inside. The one queue that I absolutely think that like this is what made me think that Disney is in like this renaissance of queues is the Big Thunder Mountain queue.
Oh, okay.
It opened in 2013, and
you guys are in a renaissance of queues, and Disneyland is kind of in a renaissance of refurbishments.
Yeah, you are. Like, I actually don't remember if I went on this queue before the last time I went to Disney World, but I remember the Barnabas Bullion portrait. So I don't know if they put that in before they actually changed the queue, but they did so much to it. It's fucking incredible.
Wow.
They gave the Big Thunder Mountain Mining Company an owner who is Barnabas T. Bullion, who is modeled after Tony Baxter, which is it's just a cool reference. But where I shit myself was when you're going through the queue, and it has cool things like there's a safe with like gold bars that glow or sparkle rather at times, things like that. You go through, had a bunch of like funny little like notices, like talking about like salaries and like what not to do and when blasting, things like that. But then there's one board on one side. It has the statuses of each mine shaft on Big Thunder Mountain. On the other side, it has a bunch of notes. So it's literally all world building. So it's notes from the miners, it's just various notes, and then you get to one note.
Oh wow.
There's one very long letter. It took me like 3 ride-throughs to finally read the letter because the line just wouldn't stop there, and I kept getting pissed. But so it's like this page-long letter to Barnabas Bullion by the founder of the Society of Explorers and Adventurers. So
Oh, I'm sure you just lost it
I
there.
shat myself. I did. Like I was reading it, I was like, oh, who is this? And I saw Jason Chandler, Society of Explorers and Adventurers. I'm like, oh my god! But it's really cool because it's the first instance, aside from the Adventurers Club, because the Adventurers Club came before C, but in the lore of it now.
Newsflash: Episode 7 might bring back Ewoks.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I just saw that on Facebook and thought I'd share.
Oh. in the story, like the lore, the Adventurers Club is a result of C. So
Okay,
like they're connected, right. But the Adventurers Club came before C. So beside that, this Big Thunder Mountain queue is the first time that C has been mentioned in an American park.
That's beautiful.
Or has been tied in an American park. So that alone is fucking incredible. I absolutely love it. It has cool games. There's one where you can pull a plunger and detonate dynamite on Big Thunder Mountain, which it's just missed, but it looks cool. It's a fun little diversion.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. There's a few screens looking down at various mine shafts in the mine, which is kind of cheesy. It doesn't quite fit for some reason. Like, it just looks weird to me. I like it, but I think it's the style. It just doesn't quite fit with me. There's another cool game where it's ventilator fans for the mine shafts, where you can turn the fans to make them work, but then it starts flashing and an animation shows up on it. So it has I forget what the name of the invention is, but it's a cool effect like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's various games like that. But the other thing that got me really excited was at one point when you're going through the queue, there's a really large map of Big Thunder Mountain. So
nice.
Yes.
Nice.
So it shows all the shafts. And one of the shafts in Big Thunder Mountain, according to this, I assume, the Disney canon, I assume it's canon, is the Rainbow Caverns. So according to this, Rainbow Caverns is in Big Thunder Mountain, which is really cool because it still builds upon that. And
that's
I find things like that interesting. There's also there was a stagecoach ad in the queue that advertised Was it
a little callback to old school Disneyland?
No,
like 1950s Disneyland.
I wish it was, but it wasn't.
That would be a fun callback.
Oh, it would. But it mentioned.
I like to think of the George Clooney character in Tomorrowland as the original jetpack guy that they used to have.
Yeah.
I really would. Whenever I watch that movie, I'm gonna think of that.
But it advertised lines between Dry Gulch, Rainbow Ridge, and why do I keep freaking the name of it? The town in Disneyland Paris.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Thunder Mesa.
Thunder Mesa, yeah. I don't know why I keep forgetting the name of it. But it advertised things like that, which is really interesting because that's also the first time that 3 Frontierlands have been brought together.
Oh, that's really cool.
Referentially.
Really cool.
So it did really.
It seems like Disney's really making an effort now to kind of tie the mythology of their parks together more.
They are, which is fucking incredible. And which is exactly why I think there should be a C movie.
Of course you think there should be a C movie.
I will write it, and I will direct it, and I will not act in it. But I will get people to act in it.
Who's your dream Nemo?
My dream Nemo?
Yeah.
Well, it depends on what Nemo.
Well, just I don't know, just
Book Nemo or Disney Nemo?
Just if you were directing a C movie.
That's difficult.
Because Because I assume Nemo is a member of C.
Not officially, but I'm pretty sure he is. Especially with Disney Sea.
Mhm.
I'm not sure. That's actually a really hard question. You know who I'd like to see is Hightower though.
Who?
Actually, I don't know if he could do it. I think he could act it, but I don't think he could do the accent, like an American accent.
Mhm.
Christoph Waltz could probably do it. That could be a cool Harrison Hightower.
That'd be fun. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know who could do Mystic.
Christoph Waltz did an American accent in Big Eyes, and it was terrible.
I heard it was terrible.
It was very terrible. It was really bad. Oh God.
I'm trying to think of who can do Lord Mystic as well. I don't know. So it'd have to be an elderly Englishman. And I keep wanting to say Christopher Plummer. I don't know
Ian
why.
McKellen.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Although Ian McKellen is also going to be Lumiere, I believe.
Is he?
Someone.
Huh. Actually, yeah, I think you're right. They should get Patrick Stewart to be Cogsworth. That would make my life.
Oh God.
I would need to look into that casting.
Uh-huh.
Ideally for Nemo, I'd have James Mason, but I can't have James Mason because he's dead. But that's the first problem to get around. I mean, I've discussed this. Like, I want to have a ton more people who aren't in the parks anymore.
Oh yeah, sure.
Like,
sure.
I would still love to have Paul Frees's character from Adventure Through Inner Space.
That would be amazing.
Like
yeah, someone loosely based on that.
Timekeeper could be cool as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a lot of things.
Dreamfinder.
I was thinking about that, but I'm hesitant. Maybe more as like a cameo.
Okay.
Or it's like an associate.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, like an associate.
Actually, I don't know. He would fit in with the ideals.
He would.
Let's see. I don't know. This is pointless. We're talking about cues.
Okay, so I never got back to my Snow White Scary Adventures.
Yes, sorry.
So I like it because it's just kind of like you're going through the Queen's dungeon, and that's it. It's very simple and it's very charming. It's like you see, there's one point where you see the shadow of the Raven. And it's all creepy, and I think you see some skeletons too.
Okay.
So it's very small, but it gets the job done. You know what I mean? It really gets the job done. I've talked about it before. I'll talk about it again. I love the queue on Batman the Ride.
In Magic Mountain?
Magic Mountain, yeah. I fucking love that queue. Because, like, that might be one of my favorite queues of all time, in all honesty. Because it just sucks you into, like, the 1989 Burden Batman vibe so much. And that's so unique, you know what I mean? Because it's like, we as a culture have gone so much past that take on Batman that it's just cool to have something that's so definitively like 1989 Batman in tone and flavor and everything.
Yeah.
In a theme park.
Yeah.
I don't know. Of course, California Screamin' desperately needs a queue redesign.
Yeah.
Like, in all honesty, I'm not even being like, all of Magic Mountain's queues are way better than that queue. I'm dead. Well, maybe not YOLO Coaster. Because YOLO Coaster's queue is basically just a giant series of switchbacks under a tent. Which is pretty much what California Screamin' is, really.
Yeah.
When you break it down. And so is Midway Mania.
Yeah, the one in MGM is actually really good.
Yeah, I know, you lucky bastards.
Yeah. The one in Tokyo is incredible.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah.
The what was I gonna say? The Tower of Terror is a great queue as well.
Just in general.
More so in Disney World, but yeah.
More so in Disney. I really appreciate the Disneyland one. I mean, I know the Disney World one has more to it, but I think the California one gets the job done for sure.
Oh no, it does. It's in no way is it bad. It's just
Uh-huh.
not. It doesn't set the scene as well.
It doesn't, yeah, but I don't know. I do think that the one thing you guys really have going is the outdoor garden.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
That's what really
yeah,
sets the tone.
right, and I
Because
can
you're
understand that.
yeah, because you're just going through this overgrown garden with this haunting jazz playing.
You know what I wish they do?
What?
I'd wish, because there's literally enough space there where you could build that garden. All you'd have to do is rework the fucking Aladdin queue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean they could, but if they won't. They would have done it already.
But we're in the age of really good refurbishments at California parks, though.
Yeah, but only to a queue?
Well, I mean, you could do other things to the Tower of Terror besides the queue. I'm just saying. I don't know. I just think, like, everyone complains. Like, you want to talk about a terrible queue, but right there, Aladdin. It's awful. It's fucking awful because they have you just line up, like, with no shade at all, like an hour before the show. It's really, really bad unless you have a fast pass or something.
Yeah.
Because if you have a fast pass, then you just show up like a half hour before and then just get crammed into like this tiny, tiny little waiting area, which honestly is almost just as bad due to like, you know, I have like some claustrophobia issues with being in really crowded spaces.
Yeah.
So that's almost just as bad for me. So I don't know. That's a really bad queue, and I think it could be reworked. And I think if they reworked it, then they could also rework the queue of Tower of Terror because they have room to do it. Well, talking about DCA queues, though, one that I haven't been on, but I absolutely blows my mind is the Radiator Springs Racers queue.
Yeah, that's a really good queue as well.
It goes back to kind of like the classic sort of queue where it's like you don't have to have like an intro video.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All it is atmosphere. It's just detail and atmosphere the whole way through. And I love that about it. And it really sets the tone. It really like it feels like the kind of queue where I'd be happy to wait in like an hour-long line just to kind of soak in all the detail.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm like with the Big Thunder Mountain queue.
Right,
like
right.
That is the only ride that I actively waited in for 45 minutes. Like the other ones I would just wait to go down.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of some others in California to highlight.
And
Of course, the Matterhorn has a really terrible queue system, and I don't think that can ever change physically.
No. Yeah.
It's a shame, but literally the way they do it now is like the only way it can possibly be done.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. That's a really bad queue.
Animal Kingdom has really good queues.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Everest is amazing.
Yeah, I mean not just Everest, but
detail.
Kilimanjaro, and it's tough to be a bug as well.
Oh, it's tough to be a bug in California. Also has a really, really good one. Although I'm sure in Florida it's better because it is really good because it's kind of like, you know, kind of has a really good transition to kind of like getting a bug's eye view of like the grass and everything. So like you see
that's cool.
Yeah, and then you like go into the, you know, the mound of dirt, and it looks kind of like you're going into like just like a, you know, just like an anthill. So yeah, it's pretty neat.
In Florida, you go through the base of the Tree of Life.
Obviously, so you guys win.
Yeah. Dinosaur is a pretty okay queue as well.
Yeah, but it has too many videos for my taste.
It only has one video.
Gary Sinise.
Yeah.
Whenever I see Gary Sinise, I think of the 1990s version of Mice and Men.
Oh, Gary Sinise is in Mission Space.
Oh, he's in Mission Space. I'm sorry. Who's in the Dinosaur?
I forget. It's nobody big.
Nobody big.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gary, because I just remember in high school, like I was pissed that we didn't see the Lon Chaney version of Mice and Men.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell is this? Like, I grew up like watching AFI specials and stuff with the black and white of Mice and Men, and now we're watching this who the hell is Gary Sinise? You know, I was like an immature high schooler back then, like totally like trying to be like a film intellectual.
Yeah.
We should be watching the black and white version of this movie. Yeah. I'm Brad Jones.
Yeah, the dinosaur queue is pretty good though. You go into the Dino Institute and you're just in a rotunda, and then you go into the pre-show, and then you come out, which is it's a cool transition after that because you come out, and then you're in the basement facility where you go into your time rover. So it has a cool transition, but yeah, it's not incredible, but I do like it.
We've talked about this before, but I really love the Winnie the Pooh queue at Critter Country.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's very simple. It's very naturalistic. It's very calming and peaceful. It's just nice. You know what I mean? It's just a really super nice area.
I like the one in Disney World. It's a bit of a clusterfuck, but it's a really nice queue. Because it has cool interactive things in it. Like, they're all physical interactive things as well, which is cool.
One queue that gets a lot of hate that I honestly don't mind waiting in line for is Nemo subs.
That's all just switchbacks.
It's all switchbacks, but I don't mind waiting in line for it because the lagoon itself is so aesthetically pleasing, and
Yeah.
I just love the sight of subs actually going through it. And you have the mime birds to look at, which are amusing. So all that mixed together, plus some pretty cool background music and a pretty cool nautical theme once you get into kind of the part of the queue that's directly below the monorail station. You know, you see like dive bells and stuff. So I think that's kind of an underrated queue. I don't even want to say underrated. I let's say overhated.
Yeah.
Because it's certainly not anything amazing, but I don't think it's terribly bad either. I think it's fine for what it is.
You know what does have a good queue actually is the Little Mermaid in Disney World.
You guys obviously have the way better exterior.
Yeah, it's really cool because it really naturalistically like winds through like the rock face, and then you go into the cellar of Prince Eric's castle, and then you go on the ride.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah, it is really cool.
I must admit, I do appreciate the California version for one reason, and that's because I feel they did a really good job replicating the look of like aquarium architecture.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, so on that basis alone, I think it fits within California Adventure.
It does. It absolutely does. Yeah. The Seven Dwarfs Mine Train queue is actually really cool as well. It has you go into it just like winds through like a wooded area, and then you go into like the mine and then the vault. But it has cool things like there's a like just a game where you have to collect ore that's going through water. They have a really cool feature where you point your hand under a thing and some water comes down and a note plays. But it's cool because you can actually play chords with it, so it's like actually dynamic. And I do like that you can actually play as an instrument, and I've sort of made that my new goal. But then you go into the vault, and it has a sort of cool thing where like you spin barrels and the dwarves show up over said barrel. So it's like it's just on a screen, but it's a cool effect. It's a really nice queue in general. Not as good as the Big Thunder queue.
I guess one that I kind of have always had a bizarre sort of soft spot for, just because hey, Disney history is the Storybook Land queue, simply because it winds its way around the lighthouse.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate the fact that the lighthouse is still there. And it used to be a ticket booth.
Yeah.
So just for that reason alone, I'm like, yay, the lighthouse. I like the lighthouse. I mean, obviously, it's just a switchback, and that ride loads really slowly, so it's not the best queue at all. But lighthouse! Obviously, I talked about it before, but Roger Rabbit's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Like I think the queue for that ride might be better than the ride itself, because it's just there is so much detail to it. There's so much like little kind of Easter eggs and interactive elements, and it's before any of kind of the screen stuff or any of the games or anything. It's just very natural, very and I think a lot more of the effects are still intact than in the indie queue.
Okay.
like you still have the gorilla bouncer, which I love,
Mm.
and then Jessica Rabbit's dressing room,
Yeah.
Baby Herman. I mean, there's just so much in there. You know,
Mm.
it's like it's like a whole walkthrough attraction unto itself.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we've exhausted a lot of this discussion at this point.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a couple others.
So am I.
Um,
There aren't a lot of good cues.
I love the Disneyland one actually, the Disneyland Jungle Cruise.
Oh yeah, I like the one in Disney World as well. They're pretty similar to each other.
Just the boathouse theme and how it's like it's very much a lot of world building in terms of like the Jungle Cruise company and the skippers and everything. And
Yeah.
what's the radio DJ's name?
I don't remember.
Something AWOL.
I don't remember.
I want to say it's Adam AWOL or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Today's Jungle Cruise weather, hot and humid. Tomorrow, hot and humid. Oh God. Oh God. Oh, let's see. Anything else? Anything else? I'm trying to think of any Magic Mountain cues that are. Oh, you know what? The funny thing about the Magic Mountain cues is Lex Luthor's Drop of Doom, which is the drop tower that's attached to Superman.
Yeah.
That actually has a pretty decent cue because you just go in. It's all themed to LexCorp. So you go in. There's this big kind of like LexCorp robot on display. And Lex Luthor kind of comes over the inner speaker from time to time and says various cryptic things. You know, like, we must reach towards the future. and then you go out, and then the queue kind of like, you're just kind of waiting for the drop towers. But and then actually one of the better queues in the park is for by far the worst ride in the park, which is Green Lantern.
Oh yeah.
That has a really good queue that like sets up the Green Lantern story and everything, sets up all the world, and then the ride itself is fucking horrible and I'll never do it again. Like, I went on it once and I will never do it again. It was awful. But yeah, I think that's about it.
Cool.
Well, what about any honestly, the Universal Studios Hollywood cues from my memory kind of fall flat a little bit. Obviously, the Harry Potter ones have been really good. But from what I remember, I mean, the Mummy is kind of just a very, very weak attempt to do sort of like an Indiana Jones style cue, but just so not as good. I mean, I'm sure it's probably better in Florida.
Yeah.
Let's see. Jurassic Park is awesome just because it's fucking Jurassic Park. And everything Jurassic Park related is just Jurassic Park. Oh God. Okay, so yeah, I think that'll about do it then. Yeah. Oh, what about Star Tours?
Star Tours is a nice queue.
Yeah.
They're virtually identical in both coasts.
They don't still have Admiral Akbar, do they?
I think they do.
Because that was my favorite part of the Star Tours queue, was like right when you walk in, you see Admiral Akbar looking at you.
I'd be surprised. I would be surprised if they weren't there. But
God damn it! Every time I went on that ride, I'd be like, "It's a trap!"
I'd be surprised if they weren't there, but I didn't even check.
I love them. I love it.
Oh, those, yeah.
I absolutely love it. All right, so yeah, we should probably be wrapping up. Any last words of wisdom?
Here's some advice. Never take my advice.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
And in 1 hour and 20 minutes, it'll be 4 days until Jurassic World.
It's 1:40 here, so it already
yeah,
is 4
fuck
days.
you. Fuck you.
Oh my God.
And finally, all AP holders should burn except for Monkey. All right, good day.